Forget passport control, Canada's got a new way to mess with Americans heading to Alaska: tolls, and big ones. Imagine driving from Seattle to Anchorage, except every few miles, a Canadian in a Mountie hat pops out and demands payment. That's the nightmare scenario brewing up north, and it's all thanks to a spat between Donald Trump and, well, everyone. See, the Alaska Highway, that ribbon of asphalt cutting through Canada, isn't just a scenic drive. It's a lifeline for Alaska, bringing in everything from groceries to heavy equipment. But now, British Columbia, the province that highway snakes through, wants to charge US trucks a hefty fee for the privilege. The reason? Let's just say Canada is a little tired of being America's doormat. And by a little, I mean they're ready to slap a tariff on every hockey puck and maple syrup bottle we hold dear. This whole thing started, as most international incidents do, with Donald J. Trump. The man who never met a controversy he didn't like, or a tweet he didn't send. Back in his reign as tweeter-in-chief, Trump had a habit of slapping tariffs on, well, everything. From steel to aluminum and even washing machines, nothing was safe from his tariff tirades. Canada, being America's friendly neighbor to the north and a major trading partner, got caught in the crossfire. The two countries share one of the largest trading relationships in the world, with goods and services flowing back and forth across the border every day. March 20th, 2025. Trump, in his infinite wisdom, threatened to impose new tariffs on Canadian goods, likely while simultaneously tweeting about the size of his inauguration crowd. His threats sent shockwaves through the markets and had politicians scrambling. March 6, 2025, enter David Eby, Premier of British Columbia, stage left, looking like a man who just finished a plate of sorry, "We're fresh out of your preferred brand at a Canadian diner." Eby, known for his no-nonsense approach, was not about to let Trump's threats go unanswered. Eby, clearly not in the mood for Trump's trade war games, announces British Columbia will fight back. He made it clear that British Columbia would not be a passive player in this international drama. His weapon of choice? Tolls, on those trucks, you know the ones. The big rigs that haul goods across the border day in and day out. March 17, 2025. The Economic Stabilization Tariff Response Act is introduced in British Columbia's legislature. This act was designed to hit back at the heart of the trade routes, making it costly for trucks to cross into Canada. This isn't just some strongly worded letter. This is Canada drafting legislation to take your money if you drive a truck through their backyard. It's a bold move, one that shows they mean business. May 28, 2027. Mark your calendars, folks. That's when this act, if passed, expires. Will cooler heads prevail? Or will this be the new normal for cross-border trade? Will someone remind everyone that trade wars are bad and nobody wins? Stay tuned. The stakes are high and the world is watching. This is more than just a political spat. It's a battle that could reshape the economic landscape. This isn't just a story about trucks and tolls. It's a Shakespearean drama with more backstabbing and political maneuvering than an episode of House of Cards. In one corner you have the Canadians, led by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, a man whose hair is so perfect it could launch 1,000 diplomatic summits. Trudeau's trying to play the peacemaker, but even he's got his limits. Then there's David Eby, British Columbia's premier, who's basically channeling his inner Wolverine. He's not backing down from a fight, especially not one with the ghost of the Trump administration. Eby's holding the toll booth hostage, and he's not afraid to make Americans pay. And let's not forget the man who's caught in the middle. Dan Sullivan, the senator from Alaska. He's got a state full of angry truckers and even angrier consumers facing higher prices. His solution? Threatening to ban Canadian cruise ships from Alaskan ports. Because nothing says let's be friends like crippling a vital industry in another country. Alaska feels the pinch higher prices in the last frontier. Alaska, that vast, wild, and ridiculously expensive state, is feeling the pain of this trade war more than anyone. The cost of living in Alaska has always been high, but now it's reaching new heights. See, the Alaska Highway isn't just a road, it's their umbilical cord to the lower 48. This vital route is the main artery for supplies connecting Alaskans to the rest of the country. Everything from fresh produce to construction materials travels that route. Without it, the state would be cut off from essential goods and services, and now, those goods are about to get a whole lot pricier. The new Canadian tolls are adding to the already high transportation costs. Imagine paying $5 for a gallon of milk, then add another dollar, maybe $2, thanks to the new Canadian toll. It's not just milk, it's everything from bread to building materials. That's the reality facing Alaskans, and they're not too happy about it. The frustration is palpable as residents grapple with these rising costs. Businesses are worried about rising costs, consumers are bracing for empty shelves, and everyone's wondering if they can survive on a diet of salmon and spruce tips. The economic impact is far-reaching, affecting every aspect of life in Alaska. The irony is, a lot of those trucks hauling goods up to Alaska are driven by Canadians. These drivers are caught in the middle of a political and economic struggle. So in a way, Canada's punishing its own people to make a point. The tolls are a double-edged sword, affecting both sides of the border. It's like your neighbor blocking off your driveway because they're mad at your dog, even though their cat keeps leaving dead birds on your porch. The situation is complex and frustrating for everyone involved. Political earthquake, US and Canada on shaky ground. This whole toll booth debacle has sent shockwaves through the normally placid waters of US-Canada relations. What started as a minor inconvenience has now escalated into a full-blown diplomatic crisis, with both sides refusing to back down. We're talking about two countries that share a border longer than a Justin Bieber concert marathon and haven't gone to war with each other since, well, ever. This peaceful coexistence is now being tested in ways that were unimaginable just a few months ago. Now they're on the verge of a trade war over what is essentially a very long, very scenic toll road. This road has become a symbol of the larger issues at play, representing the economic and political tensions simmering beneath the surface. The problem is, this dispute taps into a deeper vein of resentment. It's not just about tolls and tariffs. It's about national pride and the balance of power between two neighboring giants. Canadians are tired of being treated like America's little brother, always expected to back them up, only to get slapped with tariffs and trade restrictions. This sentiment has been growing for years, and the toll booth issue has brought it to a boiling point. Americans, on the other hand, are used to getting their way, and they don't like being told no, especially by a country they mostly think of as a source of maple syrup and hockey players. This clash of expectations has created a perfect storm of diplomatic tension. The result is a diplomatic standoff with both sides digging in their heels. Neither country wants to appear weak, and both are willing to go to great lengths to defend their positions. It's a game of chicken played at a glacial pace, and nobody's quite sure who's going to blink first. The world watches with bated breath, wondering how this standoff will end, and what it will mean for the future of US-Canada relations. Public outrage. Canadians cheer, Alaskans fume. As you can imagine, this whole toll booth kerfuffle has sparked quite the reaction on both sides of the border. In Canada, it's a mixed bag. Some folks are all for sticking it to the Americans, cheering on their government for finally standing up for itself. Others, particularly those in the tourism industry who rely on those American dollars, are a little more hesitant. After all, nobody wants to see a moose wearing a Boycott Canada t-shirt. Meanwhile, in Alaska, it's safe to say people are not amused. They're facing higher prices, potential shortages, and the very real possibility of their annual moose calling competition being cancelled due to a lack of Canadian judges. Social media is ablaze with angry rants. Protests are being planned, and some folks are even dusting off their old Sarah Palin posters, just in case things get really desperate. It's a classic case of my livelihood versus your national pride, and right now, there's no easy solution in sight. Retaliation in the water cruise ships held hostage. Remember Senator Dan Sullivan, Alaska's man in Washington? He's not just sitting back and watching his state get financially squeezed. Oh no, he's gone full Captain Ahab on this one. Except instead of a whale, he's after Canadian cruise ships. See, those massive floating cities full of tourists are big business for Alaska. But they're also required to stop in Canada thanks to the Passenger Vessel Services Act of 1886. It's an obscure law from the days when men were men and cruise ships were powered by coal and resentment. Sullivan's threat is simple. Lift the tolls or those cruise ships will be setting sail for open water, bypassing Canadian ports entirely. It's a bold move, some might even say a reckless one, but desperation can make a politician do crazy, unexpected things.